Hey guys, so week 3 is here, and we are going to learn a really fundamental skill. This is a skill that you guys will find yourself using every day, and that skill is going to be leave it. So how can we communicate to our dogs to leave something alone that we don't want them to go after? Things that dogs commonly go after would be your children's toys, going to visit the cat litter box, eating cigarette butts out on their walk, going for the trash can, trying to steal food off your plate. We can use leave it in all of these situations. Leave it is something that is hard for dogs to do. It's a huge impulse control skill, so it takes some time for them to understand it. We want to present this to the dog as if it's a game. So you'll see in the following video, I'm going to demonstrate leave it with my dog Elsie. She does not know this command yet, so I'm starting from scratch. And the video is about 10 minutes long, so it takes quite a bit for the dog to get the hang of it. But you'll rapidly see your dog beginning to understand the rules of the game more and more. It's something that's so beautiful to watch happen. So I am going to show you that video now. Okay, so I'm starting with Elsie, and I'm presenting a piece of food in my hand, and I'm closing that hand to make a fist. When I present my fist to Elsie, I want to put it right in front of her nose. If I put it lower to the ground, she might think that I'm trying to cue her to down. If I put it too high above her head, I'm going to encourage her to jump up to get it. So you want to try and put your hand real up tight close to her nose. And when she backs off of it, just like she did there, I'm going to say the word yes, our marker word, and then I'm going to say take it. So I'm going to say yes and take it when she backs off. And then when I say the word take it, I'm going to open my hands and present that food straight to her face. You want to make sure you are delivering the food to the dog's face. And what Elsie's doing right now is a very common nuisance type behavior. So she's trying to paw at my hand to get me to open it. And because I'm not opening it and giving her that food reward, I'm teaching her that pawing at my hand does not get you what you want. Instead, what gets you what you want is backing off of my hand, not licking on it, not barking at it, not pawing at it. It's showing any kind of disinterest in this. The hardest part about this activity is knowing when to give your dog credit. So a lot of pet parents are asking themselves, did she really back off of it? How long does my dog need to back off of it? How do I know they're showing disinterest in it? And the easiest answer I can give them is just kind of go with your gut here. So think to yourself, did my dog actually stop trying to get at it? It does not have to be for more than 1 second. We're just asking for a little bit of time. Signs of disinterest are backing away from it, like Elsie's starting to do there. It's averting the eyes. It's removing the nose from the hand, removing the paw from the hand. If your dog shows disinterest because they're distracted by something, like a noise in the background or the UPS man coming to your door, that's okay. Still yes and reward that leaving it alone. As you practice this more and more, your dog will start to leave your hand alone without the presence of distractions. But when they're first starting, if they leave the hand because they're distracted by something, that's okay. So remember, what we're really looking for is the dog to show any kind of disinterest in going at the hand. So you'll see Elsie is going for it, and then she's backing off, but then she goes right back to it again. I want to wait for Elsie to back off and keep a little bit backed off. And this step that I'm doing right now is the step 2. So when we first started, I was presenting my closed hand to her, and then when she backed off, I was opening it, saying yes and taking it. Now I'm expecting her to leave the treat alone in my hand when it's exposed. So I'll present my fist to her closed. If she backs off, I open it. If she goes for it again, I'm going to close my hand. If she backs off, I open it again. If she stays backed off of my opened hand, then I say yes and take it. So again, I present her the treat in my closed fist. She's going for it. She backs away, I open it. She went for it again, so I close it. She backs away, I open it. She went for it again. And then when I opened my hand, she stayed backed off. So then I gave it to her. Remember, the criteria for reward here is to leave the food alone exposed in my bare hand. And all the while that I'm doing this, the only words that I'm saying to Elsie is yes and take it. I am not saying the word leave it yet. And the reason why I'm not saying the word leave it is because Elsie's not going to leave it at first. So if I started to say leave it at presentation of my hand to her face and she went for it, she would start to think that leave it means go towards the hand, try and get it. And that's not what I want. At the end of this training session, I get to the point where I can say leave it to her. And when I feel like we're getting to that point, I'll explain to you why I introduced that phrase. But for now, you can see that when I present my hand to her and she backs off, and when I go to open my hand, she's still going for it. So she's not leaving it alone yet. Presenting the hand, she went for it, so I closed it. She backed off, I opened it, and she stayed back off just for a little bit. I wanna wait to reward her when I feel like the thought has crossed through her brain, oh my gosh, that food is right there and I want it, but I'm not going to go for it. That's when I want to administer the food reward. And again, that is the hardest part with that. So that last one, I presented it to her open hand. She didn't go for it. She ended up rolling over. So she's starting to get the hang of it. And I'm getting really happy with her. You can tell because her tail's wagging. Oops, she's going for it again. Nice. It's important that when you do this activity with your dog that you don't cue them to sit or lay down. I haven't asked Elsie to do any of those behaviors because realistically, when your dog is going to be asked by you to leave something alone, they're not going to be seated or laying down. A lot of times, dogs that have a lot of obedience training on them to start will start to automatically sit or down for you because they think that's what they have to do to get a food reward. It's okay if they do that for you automatically, but we never want to ask them to sit or lay down before this exercise. Again, it's okay if they sit or lay down by themselves, but we don't want to ask them to do it at the start because realistically they're not going to be laying down or seated when we're asking them to leave something alone. So Elsie is still going for it once or twice after I present her the open hand with food in it, but she's getting faster at it. And that's how we can tell that learning is happening. And again, when she does back away from the exposed hand, I'm saying yes and take it. That's the only words that I'm saying right now. She's not ready for me to start to say leave it yet because she's not automatically leaving it every time I present her that food in my hand. Nice. And Elsie is starting to back off and give me eye contact. That's great. It's not required, but if your dog starts to do that, it's a good thing. She's almost looking at me and saying, what do I do here, Mom? I left it alone. What do I do here? And you can see that Elsie's tail is wagging this whole time. We want it to be a happy thing. It's a game that she's learning to play, and she's getting better at it. She's getting really good at it. This is a huge impulse control activity for your dog. It helps teach them that those kind of nuisance, attention-seeking behaviors like pawing at your hand or licking or sniffing or barking at your hand to get food doesn't pay out. So Elsie's getting really fast with this now. I still haven't said the word leave it yet. It takes a lot of time before they can get to that stage. You see when she got into a sit instead of the down, she struggled a little bit more. If your dog does go into a down on their own, make sure that you always have that food to their face. Don't keep your hand up over top of their body where their nose might have been when they were in a sit or a stand position. If they lay down naturally, you got to bring that hand down to that nose. And I still haven't said leave it yet. That was really good. So because she didn't even go for that hand at all, I'm going to start to introduce the word leave it in the next couple seconds. She's getting better. She still showed some interest in it then, so I had to close my open hand. Getting better. All right, so now I'm starting to say the words, Elsie, leave it. Elsie, leave it. Yes, take it. And I'm saying it as I present my hand to her. Elsie, leave it. Yes, take it. Elsie, leave it. Yes, take it. And she did great. So when you practice this, make sure that you're doing it with a food reward that isn't kind of top of the line. So we're not going to start a dog out with boiled chicken that makes their eyes go crazy, bulging out of their brains. We want to start with a food reward that is of low to moderate value. So we want to make it easier for them to leave that thing alone first. If boiled chicken is something that really, really makes your dog excited and go crazy, it's going to be harder for them to leave that alone. So start with kibble or a normal dog treat first, and then work your way up to that boiled chicken reward. If you have any questions about this activity, please, please, please let us know. It is something that takes some time. Practice is everything here. I hope you guys have fun training your dog how to leave it. Thank you. Bye.